How we doing, guys? We'll start the show up soon. Go ahead, hit that stream, or I'll drop it.
Roll Tide!
Roll Tide, baby. Here we go.
Pathetic! You are pathetic!
In golf?
Roll Tide, everybody. Nah, I'm just kidding. Well, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. That is a Alabama logo, though. As you guys know, big Alabama fan. But we are here today on a Wednesday. What's today? The 18th of December, 2024. Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media. It's playoff week, and this is the BSM podcast, episode 53. We want to talk today about the most likely playoff upsets coming up on the first round playoff games Friday night, and then, of course, all day Saturday. And then we'll have round two in the quarterfinals, I think just next Saturday, I believe. So, but I want to hear from you guys. What's the most likely upset? We got a few people watching. The most likely upset for the first round of the playoffs. What is it? Is it Indiana Notre Dame? Notre Dame favored by 7 at home in South Bend. Can Indiana go to Notre Dame? Can Curtis Rourke put on a performance like we've never seen? Right? What about Riley Leonard? Who's a better quarterback between those two? I'd say Riley Leonard's pretty good. Curtis Rourke, though, does have more passing touchdowns. I would say that the chemistry of Indiana I like a little bit more than Notre Dame. But at the same time, I look at this game with all eyes on Indiana. I mean, here's the thing. And I think I said this week. But let me turn the camera on. Let's go here. The way I view Indiana and Notre Dame, the way I look at this game, is it's a must-win for either team. Of course, the playoffs are going to be must-win, Ballard. What are you talking about? No, let me get to this. I look at this, and I say Notre Dame is what? 0-2? 0-3 in the college football playoff. Indiana, first-time appearance. Who needs it more? I think I would say Notre Dame because they have not won a playoff game yet. I got to hear from you guys on this in the comments, in the comment section or the live chat or whatever. But does Indiana need this more than Notre Dame? Because you think about it, first-year coach Kurt Signegi doing a fantastic job in recruiting, doing a great job on and off the field. And then you got Marcus Freeman, who's filling shoes of Brian Kelly, and he's doing a good job so far. But for the program of Notre Dame, it's not about Marcus Freeman. It's about Notre Dame in general. They've lost to Alabama in the playoffs. They've lost to Clemson, I want to say twice. Are they not 0-3? Anyway, I would say personally, this is a tough game to call on who's going to win necessarily. I mean, you would say Notre Dame does it and wins. It probably covers the spread. They're favored by 7. But I look at this and I ask the question, not who's going to win, who needs to win. Because Indiana's a Cinderella team. Like, Indiana is like not last year, but 2 years ago, TCU is what Indiana makes me think of. I just don't think they make the national title and get blown out by 60 points to Georgia. But no, I think that this is a game with Indiana and Notre Dame on Friday night in South Bend where you look at Indiana and you say, when are they going to do this again? Are they going to do this again? It's a big question mark, isn't it? So they need the win. But then you got Notre Dame fighting for their case over here. Well, we've made the playoffs twice and we can't win it. Right? We need the win. We're at home. We need a playoff win at some point. The kind of two sides there. You got now Notre Dame, who can't win a big game, at least from what we've seen. You got Indiana, who we've seen this year, that we don't know what they're going to do in 2025, 26 down the road. They could make it back. They could continue to compete for Big Ten championships. But again, you scratch your head a little bit. Who's coming back next year? Is the staff going to change? How long is Kurt Signegi going to be there? He's been there only a little while, but he's doing a great job so far. Is he that coach that can continue to sustain success? Can he keep it going? Can he keep building? That is how I view Indiana and Notre Dame in South Bend this Friday night. It is a must-win game for both teams. Only one can come out on top. And honestly, I'd like to see Indiana do it. But at this moment in time, my gut says the Irish pull it off. But it is a must-win game for both teams for a couple different reasons. That's my 2 cents on Indiana Notre Dame. That is what we're looking at, folks. Let's see who's in the chat. We don't have anyone in the chat. Still got some people watching. Click that StreamYard link if you guys want to. Come on here. Talk it up. We got some ball games this afternoon. Western Kentucky and James Madison. California, UNLV. James Madison is favored in the Boca Raton Bowl. And UNLV is favored by 3.5 over Cal. 3.5 points in the Art of Sport LA Bowl. So, yep. This is the BSM podcast with Ballard Sports Media. I have some people watching. Nobody in the chat yet. Love and appreciate those watching. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Really would appreciate it. If you do hit the link, go for it. We'll bring you on. Just give me some time. But I got to cook a little bit. I got to bring some stuff to the table. What's up, Dominic? I see you, buddy. Good to see you, man. Hope everyone's having a good holiday season, too. Merry Christmas out there. We're a week away from Christmas Day. I mean, the countdown's on. It's been on for me, but it's here. So the most likely playoff upset, you can't predict. It's hard to predict the second round games. I mean, we did a bracket challenge, and I'll pull this back up for you guys to see what exactly we ended up picking. We picked Oregon to win, I believe, over Georgia in the Natty. We went with favorites, and we did pick Oregon over Georgia. As far as an upset, Texas beats Clemson, not an upset. Tennessee over Ohio State, small but not major upset. The big one, I just like Indiana's run. Like I said, I don't trust Notre Dame in big games until they prove me otherwise. You know, it's like when Georgia, before they won titles with Kirby, even the Georgia fans would sit there and say, well, Kirby can't win the big one. He can't make it. He can't win it. He can't. I feel the same way. And it's not a Marcus Freeman thing. It's just a Notre Dame thing. I don't know if it's culture. I don't know if it's recruiting. But this is a big game coming up on Friday night. It is. And I like the Indiana run right now. I like Indiana to make it to the quarterfinal against Georgia. But I think that they lose the Sugar Bowl. I do. I don't know. Some of these might have to change. Like if only one team makes it or whatever, do you get to come back and lock in another pick? I don't know. I think it all locks when the playoffs kick off. No, because the championship locks at kickoff time. So anyway. Boise State gets the bye, Georgia gets the bye, Oregon and Arizona State get the byes. Of those teams, I have the higher seed winning all except for Boise State against Penn State. Penn State's my super dog here. That's who I got. But the most likely playoff upsets in the first round is probably that Indiana-Notre Dame game above all else. I could see a case where SMU makes it a good game Saturday morning against Penn State. I just can't see them winning. Tennessee gets Ohio State at the shoe. I could see that going either way, but I do lean more towards Ohio State. I'll pick Tennessee to win, but I'm probably going to be proven wrong there. I am not changing any of my picks right now. And Texas is probably too much at home for Clemson on the 21st. That's just kind of how I view things. So that's how I view that. And yeah, that's my bracket. This is what we got here. Let's see. What's the lines on some of these games? Texas is favored by 12 over Clemson. You can't make this up. 5 versus 12, and it's a 12-point spread. You really can't make this up. I mean, Texas is that team, bro. It's not even like a. I'm going to take Texas here. What am I talking about? Arizona State. Texas might get Oregon, but I still like the favorites this year. I'm changing my bracket pick on that one. I'm going to choose Texas over Arizona State, Oregon over Texas. Oregon makes the national title. Georgia and Penn State. So you'll have SEC, Big Ten, SEC, Big Ten. Probably smart that I picked Texas over Arizona State. I'm not buying it too much. Not Arizona State. Arizona State, good team. But Texas, probably the best offense of anybody in this playoff bracket outside of Oregon. I mean, Texas, Oregon might be your national title in reality. I don't have it, but Texas, Penn State would be a dream matchup in the Natty. That'd be really good. That offense versus that defense, I like it. So, the most likely playoff upset, and again, you can only predict so much at the moment, but I think it's Indiana over Notre Dame. I really do. I could see a scenario where Penn State might lose to SMU, but I think it starts with the Friday night game. I don't think Clemson has enough for Texas. I think it'd be a really historic and good game, high scoring fest with Tennessee and Ohio State. But that's that. It's not a major upset. It's just not. So hey Brandon, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. Let's see. I know what I want to do here. I got to get some actual previews out, some of them, but I think that I don't have too much. I don't have all the time in the world to preview every single playoff game on my own time. But what we'll do, let's pick a couple. Let's do Penn State versus SMU Whiteout playoff preview. Let's also do what's going to be worthwhile. Tennessee at Ohio State. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to preview some games and talk it up on here, and we'll clip it and put it up. We'll try to. Let me see. Only reason I tried to do it today, though, is because of Nebraska beats Georgia. What's up, Nate? Who's playing Friday night? So it is the Indiana Notre Dame playoff game. Yeah. We'll try to be live for that with Mayhem. So let's do the Big Ten. Well, there's two of them. I want to definitely go for Penn State, SMU, and then let's do Ohio State, Tennessee. Let's start with Penn State, SMU. I guess we'll talk about these. I'll clip it and we'll upload it. I need to come up with some score predictions real quick. So we'll do that one and then Tennessee, Ohio State. Give me 1 second. I want to make banners with my score predictions. And again, just because you guys saw the bracket, I'm going to go based off our bracket. So I got Tennessee and I got Penn State winning, but I do want to, again, talk about these games. Okay. So let's screen share and we'll talk about these. Bear with me. I'm here. I'm not trying to get dead air. 3, 2, 1. All right. The college football playoff games are this week. Christian Ballard Sports Media coming at you with a Penn State SMU preview. We're also going to look at a little bit later Tennessee and Ohio State. I do think this Penn State game is going to be really good. It's supposed to be a noon game. It's a whiteout. Going to be a great atmosphere. A lot of pressure on both of these teams. Penn State comes into this game with a chip on their shoulder, right? The big thing for me is I look at this and I say Penn State can't win the big one. James Franklin can't win the big one. You saw that against Ohio State. You saw it against Oregon in the Big Ten title game, but at least they were able to make the Big Ten title game. We'll give them credit. Now they're in the playoffs. Now they host a playoff game. I consider this a big one. The question is, do you trust James Franklin? I think you have to. 8.5-point spread. You're at home, 67.2% chance. Supposed to be a whiteout, supposed to be cold atmosphere. I do like SMU's Kevin Jennings. I like their run game with Rashard Smith. I think they got the weapons, and I think they look pretty good in that Clemson loss. I think they look good all season long. But when I look at Penn State, I look at their defense. I look at what do you have to prepare for. You got a mobile quarterback you're going to face against SMU, and you're going to have to bring Jalen Reed and company to the party here. Kobe King, Abdul Carter, obviously, Danny Dennis Sutton. What I like is the depth of Penn State's defense. that can cause confusion for offenses. You never know who's going to blitz. You never know who's going to go out there to try to pick off the pass. You never know who's trying to get after the quarterback. They got a lot of different guys out there that they could switch up and go with. I mean, Abdul Carter has the most sacks, but then the next guy, Danny Dennis Sutton, has 4 after Abdul Carter's 10. And then you got linebackers like Kobe King and Tony Rojas. And I just love that James Franklin gives each guy a chance on the football field every single week. I love the rotation. And that's probably why I would say I like Penn State to win this game. Can SMU win? Obviously. But, at the same time, it's like, you take it like it is, and Penn State's just a better team. It's a home atmosphere. It's a playoff game. You have plenty of time to prepare. They're coming off a loss. So is SMU. Who's more hungry? Who's more motivated? SMU could easily come in and probably win this game. I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to say Penn State wins this one 31-10. I don't think it's that close. I just don't see SMU being ready for a big playoff game like this on the road at Beaver Stadium. Got to hear from you guys in the comments section. I love and appreciate each and every one of you for watching. Jesus loves you. God bless. And we'll see you next time here at Ballard Sports Media. Okay, how's that? I'll clip that. Now we got to do Tennessee, Ohio State. Great. Let's change the colors up now. Let's do, since it's let's do that gray for Ohio State. I guess that works. The later game on Saturday night, Tennessee going to the Shoe to take on the 10-2 Ohio State Buckeyes, who are coming off a loss to Michigan, of course, for the 4th year in a row. And Tennessee, of course, coming off a Vandy win, 36-23. Losses to Georgia and South Carolina. Who else did they lose to this year? Let's take a look. Arkansas. Arkansas pulled off a major upset. That's right. I remember that game because I was traveling with the Wallace State basketball team, and we talked about it. That's right. Anyway, looking at this game, Tennessee comes in with 2 losses. Ohio State with 2 losses. Ryan Day versus Josh Heupel. 2 amazingly good offenses. One team has a better defense. And I just think that Ohio State probably comes into this game prepared defensively, but I think there's a lot of question marks on offense, not talent, not scheme, not just one of those, can you keep up with what Tennessee wants to do? I understand Ohio State's at home. They're favored by 7.5. Going to be a great game to watch. It's almost one of those ones you don't want to predict too much, but I trust the better offense. And what I have seen this year personally is Tennessee's offense being so dynamic, having enough chemistry, run, pass, Nico, whatever, right? They're just that good. And, they did finish up, tied second, I guess, in the SEC. They were one of the first teams out outside of Georgia and Texas for the SEC title. But Nico Iamaleava and Dylan Sampson are probably one of the best duos out there in the country. Dylan Sampson loves to catch. He loves to run the ball. They've run the ball a lot this year with him. 256 carries for over 1,400 yards and 22 touchdowns on the ground. You look at the defense. I love Arian Carter, who leads in tackles at 65. Jamal McCoy, 4 picks. I just think that there's a lot of good defense, and I understand that the defense is going to be carried mostly in this game by the Buckeyes. Of course, they got Caleb Downs from Alabama, and they got, of course, back for. It feels like he's been there a while. Sonny Styles is here, Denzel Burke. You got JT, Tui Balawa. You got Tyleek Williams. I could go down the list. Jack Sawyer, 4.5 sacks, pretty much leads the team there. Outside of Cody Simon, who has 5. But I look at this game, I think it's going to be really, really good and positive for both of these teams to get out there on the field. As much as I love the Buckeyes at home, and as much as I love their defense a little bit more than Tennessee, I just feel like Tennessee's on a mission, not necessarily for a title, but just to prove that they belong in this thing. And Ohio State is also trying to get ahead in this game, in these playoffs, everything like that. Everything kind of fits, you think, for the Buckeyes. But I think Tennessee could come up with some dynamic offensive explosive plays that could keep them in this game. And if I had to pick a game right here, even though the stats on paper look really, really good for Ohio State's defense, have they really faced an offense like what they're going to face on Saturday? That's a good question to ask. I really don't know. I'm going to take Tennessee 42-41, and I'm not doubting Ohio State in this game in any way, shape, or form. I just have to pick somebody, and I think it just comes down to trusting one offense over the other to make big plays, and I think that these two programs, historically good programs, going head-to-head, I think is very special for college football, and I think that you're going to see a really good showdown at the Shoe on Saturday night. All right. So there you go. I did Penn State SMU. I'll clip that. And I did Tennessee Ohio State. I'll try to remember to clip these and call them my previews, basically. I got to hear from you guys. Did I dropped that StreamYard link if anyone wants to come on at any point. I'll drop it again for you. We love to hang out. But yeah, I got Tennessee over Ohio State, and I got Penn State over SMU. So it's not like I'm like SEC homer or anything. It's not like I have Georgia losing the Natty. I do have SEC teams in the semifinals, but I got Texas like losing to Oregon. I just do. What's up, Daniel Barry? How you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. What's today? Wednesday. We got some bowl games today, I think. We don't have anything till 5:30. Western Kentucky, James Madison. Then we got Cal, UNLV. These will be good games. Probably not good enough to go live for, but I'll be at church. Friday night, I want to try to do Tulane, Florida, but I don't know yet. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do touchdowns with Mayhem. Let's see. I'm excited. Like, I wish I could go ahead. I guess I could. I don't know. I think I'm going to wait till January to start the team previews, like early January after some teams have played. I, I will do some team previews. I usually start with the national champion, but because they've advanced the playoffs so late in the season and in January, it's like January 20th or 27th. I think the 20th. Like, because they've done it that late, I want to jump as early as I can on some of these 2025 teams. Have I not printed? I need to print this list of teams to cross off. Let's see. I got ACC, Big Ten, SEC, the Pac-2, and the Big 12. And if I could do all the Power Fours plus the Pac-2, I think I'll have a successful offseason. We're going to get them out for you. I think I've talked everything I can today, man. I was hoping some people would join, but we don't really have that many watching. We got one. I appreciate it. Anyway, I think Ballard's going to get off here for the day. This was episode 53, playoff week, most likely playoff upsets, picks, predictions, stuff like that today on the show. I love you guys. We'll get out of here. We'll cut the show short a little bit. Be live Friday or Saturday night for some of these playoff games. We'll be live Friday for Notre Dame, Indiana, and then we'll be live for Tennessee, Ohio State on Saturday. So I love you guys. Have an awesome Wednesday. Jesus loves you. God bless. And we'll see you next time here at Ballard Sports Media. Y'all take care. I love y'all.